So I help people find jobs they love or at least tolerate. I'm Kyle Elliot, drinking coffee with Kyles.
Cheers. So Kyle, how do you normally take your coffee?
I'm usually a soy sugar-free vanilla latte, either hot in the morning or iced in the afternoon.
It's quite the order.
Yes. They all know me. Like 4 or 5 different Starbucks where I live know me. So every time I go in, they have it ready, or they start making it as I'm in line.
So do they call you Caffeinated Kyle at all these locations?
Some of them do. I like advertise my workshops there, and they're like, "Oh, Caffeinated Kyle," and then someone else will be like, "Wait, what?" And then people will start calling me that. And then just recently, they like noticed that was my website, and they're like, "Oh my God, you actually are Caffeinated Kyle!" Like it was just a joke at first, and then they realized I was actually like a brand behind it. And they're like, "Oh my God, it's true. It's not just like a gimmick." So it was funny. And then like one barista will say it, and then another, and then all of them will start like yelling it.
Yeah, we have been dying to drink coffee with Caffeinated Kyle to have the epic Kyle and Kyle show. What's up?
3Ks.
3Ks.
Yeah, 3Ks.
Cheers to that. So, Kyle Elliot, what are you most obsessed with right now, your professional life, in 2 words?
Being present.
Ooh. Love that. Can you expand that more?
Yeah, I'm used to going. So I drink a lot of coffee. I work a lot. I'm just going all the time. So for me, it's hard to just stop and be present. And I read this book. Okay, I read 3/4 of it. I never really get through books, but it's called Being Present Over Perfect. And it's hard for me to just stop and slow down and like read a book. That's why I never finish books. Or for me to just stop and like hang out or watch Netflix. Like I'll start doing Netflix and I'll start cleaning or start working or emailing or being on LinkedIn. So for right now, that's something I'm really trying hard to do. Like I run a business. That's why I quit my full-time job, is so I could do more of those things I love. So that's something I'm really trying hard to do. But it's a challenge for me. Like I'm always go. So it's something I'm definitely working to do better.
So for those of us who are go, and we're trying to achieve so much, can you share with us at what point did you wake up and go, I really need to start being present? Like, can you give us an example of like a situation that came up in your professional or personal life that made you want to slow it down and become a little more present with your situation day to day?
I think this book, and I don't get paid or anything for repping this book, but I read this book. My friend recommended it. She's a woman and she's Christian, and she recommended this book, and it's actually written for Christian women. So it was a little interesting reading it, and it's like, oh, as a woman, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, wait, this is strange. But anywho, I was going through and reading it, and it really struck a lot of chords with me. It's like, oh, we're filling our time because we're stressed and we don't want to address our emotions and all this. So I read that book right after I left my last job, where I was working like 60 hours a week, also running caffeinatedkyle.com. That was another 20 or 30. So I was working like 100 hours a week almost, and I had no free time. And I read that book and I was like, every single page I was like circling stuff, highlighting stuff, flagging it. I was crying. And I don't cry either. I'm not a crier. People are like, you cry. So it was a good book. So I think that was the turning point, like having this book and also reading it at like the exact perfect time. So I think that was it. And then also I have no structure in my life right now, or at least when I started running my business. And I think I was like, wait, I've had all these excuses not to be present or not to go. Okay, I was in grad school, I was in undergrad, I had this busy job. And now I'm like, there's no excuse. I literally set my schedule. I can wake up anytime, go to bed anytime. And I was like, there's no excuse. I was always pushing it off. And now I'm like, there's nowhere to push it off to. I don't have another eventually, and it's now. So I'm trying to really be like, okay, now is the time I can finally do it. So I think for other people, when are you going to get to that eventually is the question I would ask. Because a lot of people say, okay, after grad school, after I get married, okay, next year. And I always ask people, okay, what would it take for it to happen right now? What obstacles would we have to remove, or what would we have to change for it to be now?
Right. So yeah, no, I love that. So what are you doing? What steps are you taking right now to be present? Are you meditating? Dive us into that a little bit more.
Yeah, meditation's hard for me. So I try and encourage it with a lot of my clients, but I'm just not a meditator. Even if I haven't had coffee in the morning, or I'm not like go, meditation's hard for me. So I try and be mindful for like a minute. Like for a minute, just like hang out and be present of my surroundings. And I tried attaching it with things throughout the day. Because like a lot of people, I have a lot on my plate. So adding 20 minutes of meditation, that feels like a chore. So instead I'm like, okay, when I start my car in the morning, I'm going to sit there for a minute and not check my phone or do anything. Mm-hmm. Okay, when I'm washing the dishes, I'm going to wash the dishes and be mindful that I'm washing the dishes and not listen to music or watch Netflix. When I'm doing other things throughout the day, I just try and be present with them. So that's been helpful for me. And then moving off of the multitasking. So I'd normally like call my mom while I was grocery shopping. And it's like, that's really anxiety inducing. You may not notice it immediately, but it's stressful, like navigating the grocery store, being on the phone, trying to remember your list. So I'm trying to stick to only one task. And just these teeny tips that add up to really be more mindful and less kind of all over the place is what we're used to.
Well, one of the things about being all over the place is caffeinated questions.
Yes.
All right, caffeinated questions. If you're new to this, it's simple. The rules are this. It's this or that. You have to pick one. There's no both, neither, or none. You got to pick one. This or that. Ready, go, K-Dub.
Left or right?
Right.
Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber?
Justin Bieber.
Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera?
Christina Aguilera.
Gary Vee or Tony Robbins?
Tony Robbins.
Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant?
Kobe Bryant.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
Lost in Space or Lost in the Ocean?
Lost in the Ocean.
In the snow or on the beach?
Snow.
Bicycle or rollerblades?
Rollerblades.
I'm out. I'm out. Time for an espresso shot. We want to change it up? We're going to change it up. Double espresso shot. Double espresso shot. Go, get up.
All right, I'll do the first espresso shot. So if you could have coffee with anybody living, who would it be, and what would you talk about over coffee?
I would definitely say Hillary Clinton. So when I did my Myers-Briggs, we were both INTJs. I switched to ISTJ recently, but me and Hillary Clinton are super similar. A lot of people say at first they don't think I'm really personable. They're like, oh, I kind of know you, but not really. You're like work, work, work. And you know that picture where she's like sitting and she has her sunglasses on her phone and she's like working? Everyone says I'm a lot like Hillary Clinton. So I've gone that. So I think it'd be fun to talk to her. Especially with her massive failure recently, like not getting elected. I think it'd be interesting to talk to her about how she's coping with that, because that's a pretty big failure. So I think it'd be interesting to talk to her about that and just what.
Awesome.
Very cool. Maybe you could help her find a job.
Yeah, help her find a job. Right now she doesn't have a job. So.
Cheers to that one. That was great. All right, now for the double espresso shot. If you could have coffee with anybody who has ever lived but is no longer living, who would that be, and what would you ask them?
Definitely Rosa Parks, because I think oftentimes people talk about like standing up, or I guess sitting down, during these critical times, and I think what's happening now, I'd be interested to see. I don't think people are being aggressive enough fighting right now for social justice, diversity, equity, so I'd be curious to see what her thoughts were.
Nice. No, I agree with that too. Well, Kyle, parting piece of guidance, parting wisdom, parting question for the viewers. What do you have for us?
I guess we were talking about being present, so I would encourage people to take a minute a day to just be present and do nothing. That's something I've been trying to do lately, and it's like really small and it's really easy. So just a minute a day to do nothing. Got it. 1 minute per day to do nothing. Let us know down below in the comments how you're planning to achieve that or how you have already achieved that. The connection happens in the comment section. Engage people. We're here to talk to you. That's right. Reach out to us pretty quickly.